Hello everyone, for this video we're going to talk about geometric means. So what is our learning target for this video? I can find the geometric mean of two numbers. Now, for our first activity, let's find the second term of each geometric sequence. So I have here 2 blank 18, negative 8 blank negative 32, 24 blank 6, 10 blank 19. I would like you to find out the second term of each geometric sequences. So if you are done answering this activity, you may resume watching the video. Okay, so for our first sequence, our answer would be either positive or negative 6. So I know maybe some of you would think that the answer is only 6 because you preferred positive ratio, and that is positive 3. But if you're going to think about it again, you can also have negative 3 as the common ratio here. So 2 times negative 3, that would be negative 6, and negative 6 times negative 3, that would be positive 18. So you would have correct answer as well, and so we consider it's either positive 6 or negative 6 as our second term. So moving on, for number 2, we can also have positive or negative 16, wherein our common ratio may be positive or negative 2 as well. Okay, same manner with our letter C or third sequence, so we can have positive or negative 12. Okay, so our common ratio here, we can also have positive or negative 1/2. And lastly, for letter D, our answer is positive or negative 30. Okay, so for our common ratio as well, we acknowledge as well negative 3 as our common ratio here. And so, we can also have negative 30 as our second term. Okay, so for your information guys, actually what you answered already a while ago is actually a geometric mean already. Okay, so this values that we've got here as the second term, or the values in between the given two terms, are considered our geometric means. Okay, so by the way, before giving you the exact description of what is geometric mean, so let us have a short recap of our activity a while ago. So I'd like you to discover something out of it. So as you can see, our answers a while ago, so we have positive negative 6 or positive negative 16. Actually, there's a shortcut for this so that you can easily find the middle term between the given two terms. So now, can you guess what is our formula in order for us to easily identify the middle term in the given sequence? So actually, our formula is B is equal to positive or else negative square root of the A times D. So by the way, B refers to your geometric mean, and your A refers to the first term given in the sequence, and the D refers to the last term given in the sequence, or the third term here. So let's check. 2 times 18, that is 36, and now what is the square root of 36? So that is positive or negative 6. And so, that means this formula is also applicable if you are going to look for a particular geometric mean between the given two terms. So again, you may use this formula if you are going to look for one geometric mean or the term in between the given two terms. Okay. Again, what is or what are geometric means? So these are the terms between any two terms of geometric sequence. So like for example, 13, 130, and 1300. So 130 is considered our geometric mean since it is found in between the given terms 13 and 1300. So aside from that, we can also have a lot of geometric means as long as these are in between the given two terms. So like for example, negative 4 is our first geometric mean, 16 is our second geometric mean, and negative 64 is our third geometric mean. So we can have 1, 2, 3 or more geometric means as long as the terms or values are found in between the given two terms. So as you can see, we do have negative values as well for geometric means. This happens if the common ratio is negative or some of the value of the terms given are negative as well. Okay, so again, we can have 1, 2 or more geometric means as long as the terms or values are found in between the given two terms. Okay, so in general guys, I'm gonna give you 2 steps only on how are you going to identify the geometric mean or means given the two terms. So a while ago in our discover activity, we were able to find the shortcut if you are tasked to find out one geometric mean only. If you're going to insert one value only. Okay, we're looking for one geometric mean in between the given two terms. But actually guys, I have here the general steps wherein you can use this if you're going to find out 1, 2, 3 or more geometric means in between the given two terms. So first step is get the value of the common ratio using the general formula of geometric sequence. So what's the general formula again of geometric sequence? So here, a sub n equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1, and after that you proceed with multiplying the common ratio that you've got to the preceding term. Okay, so let's try these steps. Okay, so find the geometric mean between 3 and 147. So as you can see, it's not stated how many geometric mean or means are you supposed to insert in between the given two terms, but this means that you are only tasked to find one geometric mean or insert one geometric mean between 3 and 147. So again, I'm gonna use here the general steps, the 2 steps that I've mentioned recently. So first is let us find the common ratio using the general formula for geometric sequence, and of course let's gonna substitute our a sub n, or our last term is given already, which is 147, and our a sub 1 or our first term is 3, and of course r is retained because this is what we're looking for, and our n is 3. How come, or how are we going to find out the value of n that we are supposed to substitute here? So we do have 2 given terms already, the 3 and 147, and next to that is you are going to insert one term in between 3 and 147, and therefore you do have 3 terms all in all. So therefore n is equal to 3. So next, let's gonna simplify first the exponent. So 3 minus 1, it's 2. And next is our target is to find the value of our common ratio. So here, to isolate the variable r here together with its exponent, let us eliminate first the numerical coefficient. Or how can we cancel this out? So let us divide both sides by the value of our a sub 1, which is 3. So we divide both sides by 3, and so we can cancel this out. So the remaining terms would be r squared equals, what is 147 divided by 3? That is 49. But this is not yet our final answer because this is r squared. You need to simplify it further. And so, how are we going to simplify this equation? So since it is r squared, the reverse operation for squaring a number is getting the square root. And so, let us get the square root of both sides of our equation, the square root of r squared and square root of 49. And so, we will be able to find out positive or negative 7. So again, 7 times 7, it's 49. negative 7 times negative 7 is 49 as well. And at the same time, on the right side, so r times r, it's r squared. So it's correct. Okay, since we have our common ratio already, let us proceed with our step 2, and that is simply multiply the common ratio to the preceding term. And so, let us start with our first term. So, let's multiply the common ratio that we've got to the first term in the given problem, and that is 3. So, 3 times 7, so that means our geometric mean is positive 21. And aside from that, we can also have negative ratio, and that is negative 7 multiplied with 3. We can have negative 21. And so our final answer for our geometric mean, it can be positive 21 or else negative 21. This is the only geometric mean that we can insert in between 3 and 147. Okay, so if you are going to use the shortcut that we've discovered a while ago, so b is equal to positive or negative square root of AD, substituting the a and then the d, which is 3 and 147, you multiply both, and then get the square root of 441, we arrive with positive and negative 21. So that means, even if you use the shortcut, you will arrive with the same answer if you are going to compare it with the general or complete steps that I mentioned recently. Okay, for our next example, find the geometric mean between 7 and 28. So again, it is not mentioned here of how many geometric mean or means you are going to insert. So that means we're going to assume that we are going to insert one geometric mean only. Okay, so now I'm gonna use the complete steps again. So the 2 steps, I'm gonna start with step 1, finding the common ratio. So again, substituting the given data in the formula, my last term, the value of my last term is 28. It's already stated here, the last term in the given sequence, and the 7 for your first term, and again for n is 3 because I do have 2 given terms plus the 1 term that you are going to insert in between. So all in all, we have 3 terms in the given problem. Okay, so simplify the exponent first. This would be 3 minus 1, it's 2, and eliminate the numerical coefficient 7 by dividing both sides by 7 to isolate the r squared. So again, so we divide both sides so that we can cancel out 7 here, and so the remaining terms would be r squared equals 28 divided by 7, that is 4. And lastly, getting the square root of both sides of the equation, we will have common ratio, which is, or r, positive and negative 2. Okay, moving on to our step 2, let's just simply multiply positive 2 to the preceding term, or you may have negative 2 multiplied with the preceding term as well. And so our final answer is positive or negative 14. Again, if you're going to apply the shortcut, you will arrive with the same answer, which is positive or negative 14. So take note, this shortcut is only applicable if you're going to look for one geometric mean to be inserted in between the given 2 terms. Okay, but I would advise, if you are going to look for 2, 3, 4 or more geometric means in between the given 2 terms, it's better if you're gonna use the 2 steps or the general steps in finding the geometric mean or means. Okay, here, like for example, insert 2 geometric means between 3 and 648. So I'm gonna start with my step 1, finding the common ratio. So here in this case, guys, as you can see, my value of n is 4. Why? Because we do have 2 given terms, which are 3 and 648 already, plus you are going to insert 2 geometric means in between. So therefore, 2 plus 2, you will have 4 terms in the given problem already. And so n is 4. Okay? So I hope it's clear on your part. So now, let's simplify. 4 minus 1, so it's 3. And same process, guys, let us isolate r cube by dividing both sides by 3. Okay, and so we can cancel out this 3. And so our remaining terms in our given equation would be r cube equals the quotient of 648 and 3 is 216. And of course, let us get the cube root of both sides of the equation, and what will be our answer for this? So our ratio is equal to positive 6 only. Why is it we are not going to include negative 6? Because if you're going to analyze, you think on your own, if you are going to multiply negative 6 with negative 6 and with negative 6, do you think you will arrive with a positive answer, which is 216? Or you will have negative 216? Isn't it you're going to have negative 216? And that is why negative 6 as the common ratio is not accepted in this given problem. So you are going to focus only with positive 6, because multiplying positive 6 with positive 6 and positive 6 will have positive 216. And so, since we do have our common ratio already, let us multiply with the preceding term, and that will be starting with 3. So 3 times the common ratio, positive 6, so we'll have 18. Next is 18 times the common ratio again, so that is 108. And therefore, our final answer for this, we have 3, 18, 108, and 648, wherein 18 is our first geometric mean and 108 is our second geometric mean. Now, if you're going to check again, if you are still in doubt, why is it negative 6 is not included for the ratio, you may also check using this way. So 3 times negative 6, so that would be negative 18. Negative 18 times negative 6, that would be positive 108. 108 times negative 6, this is supposed to be negative 648, right? So that means there's something wrong with this. Okay, so that means we are going to consider only the positive common ratio. Okay, so moving on. Insert 3 geometric means between 12 and 3/4 this time. So same manner, let's start with step 1. Let's find the common ratio using the geometric sequence formula. Okay, so substituting here. So this time my n is 5, so I do have 2 given terms plus the 3 terms we are going to insert in between. So all in all, we do have 5 terms in the given problem. And so, simplifying the exponent first, 5 minus 1, it's 4. And then let us eliminate the 12, both sides of the equation, to isolate r raised to 4. And so, here, we can cancel out already the 12. And so, we will have r raised to 4 equals 3 over 48. So, you divide 3/4 by 12. So maybe you can use the horizontal way, wherein you proceed with multiplication 3/4 times the reciprocal of 12, and that is 1 over 12. So you multiply, so you would have 3 over 48. But of course, before I get the fourth root of the terms in the given equation, so I'm gonna simplify first. 3 over 48, the lowest term for this fraction is 1 over 16, and this time I'm gonna get the fourth root of 1 over 16 and fourth root of r raised to 4. And so I would have positive or negative 1/2. So as you can see, we can have 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. That is positive 1/16. You can also have negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 times negative 1/2. That would be positive 1/16 as well. Okay, moving on, let us multiply the common ratio to the preceding term, and I'm gonna start with 12, of course. So 12 times 1/2, it's positive 6. Then 6 times 1/2, it's positive 3. And 3 times 1/2, it's 3/2. Okay, so of course, we are going to consider as well the common ratio, which is negative 1/2. So let's start again with the preceding term. 12 times negative 1/2, it's negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 1/2, it's positive 3. And 3 times negative 1/2, it's equal to negative 3/2. And so, our final answer, looking at the first sequence, we can have 6, 3, and 3/2. Or another set of geometric means, we have negative 6, 3, and negative 3/2. Okay, so we're done with this problem. Okay, next, find the value of x if the sequence 8, 32, 9x plus 65 is geometric. Okay, so your task right now is to find out the value of x since one of the terms given is in expression. Okay, so now you may also apply this idea, guys. So I'm gonna get common ratio first since the second term and first term is already given. So 32 divided by 8, I would have r equals 4. And so since we all know that the ratio is 4, and since this is geometric as stated in the problem, therefore we can say that 8 times 4 is 32, and 32 times 4, that is the value for 9x plus 65, right? And so you can use that idea to formulate the equation, wherein 32 times the common ratio that is equivalent to the third term supposedly. And right now, we don't know the value for that third term, but instead we do have the expression, which is 9x plus 65. That's the equivalent of 32 times 4. And so let us evaluate this. 32 times 4, that is 128. So supposedly, the third term here is 128. But it is expressed through 9x plus 65. So let's make use of this detail. So let's combine like terms. 128 minus 65, so equals 9x. So here I use the shortcut, the transposition. Positive 65 transferred to the left side of the equation, it becomes negative 65. And so simplify. 128 minus 65 is 63. Then to isolate the x, divide both sides by 9. Okay, so divide both sides by 9, and that means this will be cancelled, and so x is equal to 7. Okay, aside from this, you can also use this solution, or maybe you can think of another solution. It's okay as long as you will arrive with the same answer. But to give you an idea, you can use also this concept wherein we all know that if it's geometric sequence, therefore we can say that they do have the same or equal ratio or constant ratio, right? So you can make an equation as well, which is 32 divided by 8. Whatever the ratio is here, so it's the same with the ratio of 9x plus 65 divided by 32, right? So r is equal to r. So here in this solution, you don't need to find the r, but instead you just indicate the formula for the ratio, which is second term divided by the first term and third term divided by the second term. You just equate it. Okay, now let's simplify. So I look here for the LCD, and that is 32. I multiplied 32 to both sides of the equation. So 32 times 32 divided by 8. So I got 128. And then 32 I just use the shortcut here. 32 divided by 32, it's 1. Multiplied with the numerator, it's still 9x plus 65. Or simply, you can cancel this out. Okay, so 9x plus 65. Okay, next is combining like terms. So 128 minus 65, so you would have 63, and again isolate the x by dividing both sides by 9, and so you will arrive with the same answer, which is 7. Okay, and you're done. As easy as that. Next problem, find the value of x if the sequence 18, 54, 6x plus 18 is geometric. Now, of course, I'm gonna start with my first solution, wherein finding the value of r. So here, 54 divided by 18, I will have r equals 3. And we all know that this is geometric sequence, and so they do have a constant ratio or common ratio. So 18 times 3, it's 54, and 54 times 3, that is equivalent to the 6x plus 18, and that would be my equation. So evaluating further the given equation, so I would have 54 times 3, 162, and then I'll just simply copy the 6x plus 18 for the meantime, and then after that I'm gonna combine like terms, but I'm gonna use the shortcut here. I will transpose positive 18 to the left side, and that would become negative 18. And so 162 minus 18, that is 144. Our next task is to isolate the x by dividing both sides by 6, of course, to eliminate the 6 here. And so our answer, x is equal to 24. Okay, so for our second solution, if you are more comfortable with this, you may use this one. So here I just wanna equate the ratio of 54 and 18 with 6x plus 18 and 54. And so I'm gonna get the LCD, and that is 54. I'm gonna multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD 54. And so as you can see here, 54 times 54 divided by 18, that would be 162. And here, so shortcut, I'm just gonna cancel this out. So 54 divided by 54, it's 1. Multiplied with 6x plus 18, it's still 6x plus 18. So moving on, so I have 162 equals 6x plus 18. So combine like terms once more. So 162 minus 18, I would have 144 as well. So equals 6x, and isolate the x by dividing both sides by 6. Okay, so again, we are going to cancel this out, and so we would have x equals 24 as well. We arrive with the same answer, but again, if you do have other ways or method to find or to look for the value of x in this kind of problem, it's your choice, as long as we will arrive with the same answer. Okay, so for additional practice exercise, you may answer these 3 problems given, and if you are done answering, you may check your answer by resuming the video. So these are our answers for these 3 problems. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you learn about geometric means. So again, see you on our next video lesson. Thank you so much.